I have clocked in over 25 hours of Kingdom Hearts 3 over the last 3 days, and while I haven't played enough to do a full review just yet, I have collected a few thoughts about my experience so far, and a few of the burning questions have been answered, namely, can a newcomer jump right into Kingdom Hearts 3? Many fans scoff at the notion, but being a fan myself, and also a realist, I've known for a long time that Square Enix have always intended to sell Kingdom Hearts 3 to newcomers, and beyond that, they want newcomers to buy Kingdom Hearts 3. They wouldn't release it on the Xbox platform if that wasn't the case. So the question once again becomes whether or not somebody with little or no experience with the Kingdom Hearts series could enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3 on its own, or as their entry into the series. Let's find out. Kingdom Hearts has a reputation for being complicated and impenetrable. I think the reputation has grown a little too big and encroached into meme territory at this point. It certainly isn't as nonsensical or impenetrable as some would have you believe, but on the other end of the spectrum, you are kidding yourself if you don't think it's complicated or convoluted at all. It definitely is, and nothing drove this home more than the smirk on my face during an exposition heavy scene fairly early in the game. In one of the many ways Kingdom Hearts 3 attempts to catch people up on everything that's happened in the series, Mickey more or less sums up a huge chunk of the significant events up to this point while talking to another character. As somebody who does understand most of the overarching plot, it just gets funnier and funnier the longer it goes on. Funny in the way that you just can't help but smile and think to yourself, oh yeah, this is why the series has the reputation that it does. They didn't try and hide that this scene was anything other than straight exposition, and that's just fine. It's a benefit to the player, to fans who maybe haven't replayed every single game recently in the lead up, and also to brand new players. It also isn't the very first thing that happens in the game. This scene comes after you've finished the first Disney World. The pacing of the game up to the 25-hour mark where I'm at the moment is nothing short of excellent. The various exposition scenes and moments aren't just placed willy-nilly, and they aren't like watching a 30-minute sum-up movie or anything like that. They're used very well and give context to events in the game that either just happened or are about to happen. And speaking of Disney Worlds, as I was about a paragraph ago, they are a big reason why I think it's totally fine for a complete newcomer to jump into Kingdom Hearts 3. Disney has always been a big focal point in the numbered entries in particular, but Disney is present more than ever in Kingdom Hearts 3. You don't need to know a damn thing about Kingdom Hearts to follow the story arcs in each world you visit, and I'd go as far as to say that your enjoyment of a large chunk of the game is dictated more by your love of Disney than it is by your love of Kingdom Hearts. Look, I could keep going on and on, but I don't think it's necessary. It's as unnecessary as needing to have played every single other Kingdom Hearts before jumping into Kingdom Hearts 3. The experience so far has been accommodating enough for new players and casual fans alike, and it would have been downright stupid of Nomura and Square to make Kingdom Hearts 3 an unapproachable fan-only experience. They weren't going to pin over 5 years of development on the sales of only the most dedicated Kingdom Hearts fans. Whether you guys like it or not, there are going to be reviews out there from newcomers to the series, and the answer isn't to harass them or play gatekeeper. Square intends to sell Kingdom Hearts 3 to new players, and Nomura, to his credit, has made it sufficiently accommodating for new players. A review from a new player's perspective is just as valuable as one from the perspective of a lifelong fan. When I do my review, it will be from the perspective of a casual fan, who doesn't really care for Disney all that much and mainly got into Kingdom Hearts through the Final Fantasy connection back in the day. Now, if I could only say one thing to people who are fans of the series in the same way that I am, it would be this: temper your expectations. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been a very enjoyable experience for me so far, but I am at least a little underwhelmed. It's not disappointing, it's just that maybe I expected a little bit more. The Final Fantasy connection is essentially gone, apart from a 5-second mention at the very beginning of the game. There are also a few relatively minor things that detract from the overall experience. I was surprised at how many Disney characters are completely unvoiced, even ones with actors you'd think really wouldn't be that hard to get a hold of. And they made a big deal about resyncing the lip movements to the English translation a few months ago, which makes the times they didn't resync them really stand out. It's not a huge problem, I'd say about 80% of the time everything is synced up, but there are some occasions when they've obviously just kept the Japanese animations. They probably should have either done all of it or none of it, but again, it isn't a huge problem. My only other nitpick so far is something I noticed in the various demo builds I played last year. The way they show you the various walls you can run on and pillars you can swing around and all the other geometry in the world you can interact with in a similar way somewhat detracts from how beautiful the game truly is. Giant pulsating white lines fill up large portions of your screen where an otherwise incredibly well-crafted piece of art should sit unfettered. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why they didn't just make the wall running ability universal. I'm not sure why it's limited to only some walls, which then requires a visual cue to let you know that you can run on them. The maps are made well enough as they are now to simply allow running on any wall without much issue. I guess you could say, despite the very lengthy development cycle, it still feels like a few things were rushed. But please, for the love of God, don't take these relatively small criticisms as me trashing the game. I don't think the game is bad at all. Quite the inverse, really. I actually think Kingdom Hearts 3 could be a brand new beginning for Kingdom Hearts, and may very well pave the way for more Disney-focused RPGs in the future. Each Disney world is visually brought to life just as well as, or even better than they are in their respective movies. Attention to detail for the Disney side of things is off the charts. The combat is more varied and more fun than it ever has been, and apart from an occasionally uncooperative camera, it feels fluid and very solid. A lot of thought went into the combat too. They incorporated so many things from past games on top of adding new abilities based on theme park attractions, so it can turn into a bit of a transformation spam fest. But there are a multitude of options you can adjust to turn off or simply shorten the cutscenes that play for different types of transformations and abilities. Performance seems solid on my PS4 Pro, and as I've mentioned several times now, the game looks stunning as well. I'll save a deeper dive into my thoughts for the full review once I've finished it in a couple of days, but for the moment, I'm happy to say that based on roughly 25 hours with the game, it's fun and it's a good game. I am a little underwhelmed in some ways, but in many other ways the game has exceeded expectations. I certainly didn't expect the game to be as accommodating as it is while delivering a storytelling pace that is as good as I've ever experienced. Let's hope the rest of the game holds up and that those epilogue and secret movies that are yet to be released don't disappoint. Are you looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for the liking, subscribing, and the sharing!
And I'll see you all soon.